Twice recently, I have filmed at Haltwhistle on the Newcastle and Carlisle line. On each occasion I have pointed out that this was, for much of its history, a junction station for the branch line which climbed up to Alston, high in the Pennines. The branch, 13 miles long, climbed some 550 feet as it followed the valley of the river South Tyne. The final 5 miles of the route are now occupied by the 2-foot gauge South Tynedale Railway, running between Slaggyford, one of the original stations, and Alston, the original terminus. Having arrived with an hour to spare before the first train of the day, I happily accepted an invitation from the signalman to inspect his workplace.
Okay, it's an original north-eastern box. It's not original to this location though. When British Rail rationalised the line in the 50s and 60s, they took out all the sidings and points, demolished the signal box and ran it as a long siding from Haltwhistle. So this box was originally aimed to be in North Yorkshire, and we re-erected here. The lever and frames were used on various different railways, including the Highland Railway box and the North Staffs box. And if I remember rightly, the barriers were originally on the Newcastle and Carlisle line. So it's all original steam era equipment, and it's all brute force and ignorance, no electricity, and it all works.
I was noticing all the points rodding and so on down by the platforms.
So traditional layout, you've got the signal diagram, because signalmen weren't expected to remember all the lever numbers because they might be relief for signalmen just covering the occasional shift. Big wheel does the barriers, brown levers do the crossing, so this one locks the barriers in place, 19 and 22 the two pedestrian gates at the side. And they're the only levers that are not interlocked. That's whole series of interlocking underneath for safety wise. So it's difficult to crash the train. You can if you work at it. But most of the safety systems prevent that happening. Red levers do signals, connected to steel cables you see going up to signal posts. Black levers do points, as you say, connected via the point rodding. White levers are spares, because you never built a box to its full capacity. So if you put an extra point or an extra signal in, you can
you're already equipped for it, yeah.
And blue levers are point locks. Any points that passenger trains go over have to be separate, facing points have to be separately locked in place. Even though we're a heritage railway, like slow line speed, we're still regulated, tested, inspected to exactly the same standards as Network Rail. Yeah, yes. We'll do. Have you given us the ground frame back, yeah? Okay. That's the ground frame back. Just change the points to exit the yard. Whilst the signal box 2 shunts up. Okay, when you start getting onto the main line, I'll do the barriers for you. Out.
So how many services can you run in a day if you're really busy?
Oh, if we really wanted to go for it, we could do about 7. But that would be with a 5-minute turnaround at the other end. Mm-hmm. There isn't a demand. I mean, as you've noticed, it's not the most overpopulated part of the world.
No.
And 90%. Oh yeah, will do. Yes. Do. 95% of our punters are not enthusiasts, so we cater much more to passengers who are just looking for an hour ride through the countryside, spotting the deer and the occasional red squirrel. So enthusiast market is very limited. If we ran steam today, we would make a huge loss, because the cost of running steam for the day, as opposed to the number of people we will get today. Whereas if we run diesel, it's probably about 20 quid worth of diesel to run services for the day. Battery electric, we've got 2X Crossrail standard gauge locomotives. Battery electric will re-gauge to 2 feet, and the whole of the top of the shed is covered in solar panels to help us be green.
Yeah, they will be doing an awful lot for you today.
We're not normally open on Wednesday, we've got at least one coach. Staying for crossing blocks, go ahead, over. Thanks very much, I record that. Not sure if it's battery electric or diesel, that's yes, and I'll inform you of passenger numbers on the first service. Over.
Keep coming.
Does it say if the crossing blocks open?
Coming. Just coming onto the main line now.
Okay, filming. Are we keeping the BE on here, or are we switching to diesel?
It should be switching to diesel. But that's struggling to find the key if you want to go.
Only on here. Obviously when you're propelling you have to go at slow speed.
Yeah, however did railways manage before railway radio was invented?
You had a series of hand signals that we are still talking about.
I mean, even on the main line now at Carlisle, a lot of the steam haul specials in there, if they don't have a diesel on the rear, they'll maneuver them a mile or so out to the yard, just the guard on the rear, telling the driver what's what.
Yeah, we have done proposed a works train back from Saggyford, which is 5 miles. We didn't have the radio on, so it's just me and the guards constantly. So that's one of the re-gauged battery electric.
I was going to say, from the noise level, I'm assuming that is not a diesel.
No. The battery electrics can do 2 return trips on a full charge. So we get 2 of them, so they normally swap over.
Keep
Which of the intermediate stations would you recommend just for sort of scenery?
Ooh, that's a difficult one. Are you travelling on a train or are you going to drive down?
Oh no, I'll be on the train all day.
Right, they've both got their pluses and minuses, I suppose. Hold on a sec, because I'm doing this.
Now the only drawback with joining the track is that film is going to be every time we've joined in the track. They haven't got to do that.
So do you film the whole thing and then put a bit of audio and cut it?
No, I won't film everything.
So they'll hear us talking right now?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I had a good session, half an hour or so in the signal box while I'm getting up and stopping here. The signal in there was giving us all the information. Ciao. Take care.
See the walks, the whole railway lines and everything, just a lovely walk.
Is that the walk you're on about?
They tell me there's a path all the way along the line.
Yeah, it's lovely, you know, we didn't make it all the way west so far.
Yeah, I remember coming, we saw an old bed.
There's a wee bench with like little badges carved out that you can sit and have lunch. So we sat there.
The Ordnance Survey seems to show a right of way actually on the track. Which I found a bit hard to believe.
Well, I want to know.
There are bits on the Redglass and S.T.R at the top end of the line. There is a public right of way along the track in order to get across the Willen Beck.
Oh,
The only way to get across is actually on the railway line on the bridge, and it is a public right of way.
We actually were going to go that way when we got to Newcastle, but then we didn't because it was too far. It would have been too annoying to actually do.
You're right, that was one of our options.
It's a lovely railway run from Carlisle.
Yeah. Where you came through. And
Ryan knew it was these little ones. Well, all right, it is.
I want to feel like I'm in Africa.
Maybe we need to do like, just next time do it when I'm over here. What is it? 12 people what? I can try it, get this thing up tonight. We get like sleep and stuff and you got and stuff.
Yeah, he is a sleeper, no friends. I find them on paper press.
How come you just end this? I find this wrong on that. What fake car?
And so for the return to a by now very wet Alston, where I decided to forego the second trip of the day and patronise the cafe instead. Here, all food, even sandwiches, is freshly prepared to order. The quality was good, the prices very acceptable, and the service friendly. I missed seeing the 1 o'clock train depart. A brief break in the rain enabled me to get the drone in the air and take a quick look at Alston and its surroundings. In its mining heyday, Alston had a population of nearly 7,000. Today, it's home to just over 1,000. And at 1,000 feet above sea level, it's the highest market town in England. Tourism is the main source of income today. But he doesn't like the noise.
No.
Even though there's only one train operating today, every manoeuvre has to be authorised and recorded by the signalman. The same rules apply here as apply in Carlisle's power signal box. Bravely, or foolishly, I opted to travel in the open coach this time. I won't bore you with all the manoeuvres at Slaggy Ford. Suffice it to say that for my return journey, I chose a carriage with a roof over my head and walls and windows all round me. Thanks for watching. I'll try again someday when the sun's shining and there's a steam engine up front. Well, here's to then.
You're welcome to set up on the back veranda if you want to.
He must be joking.